Imagine you are 24 years old. It's the middle of the night. You are sitting alone in a freezing cold observatory, staring at long rolls of paper coming out of a machine. And suddenly, you see something strange. A tiny, regular signal that should not be there. You just found something no human had ever seen before, something from deep space. But almost nobody will believe it was you who found it. Northern Ireland, 1967. She's a PhD student working on a brand new radio telescope she helped build. It's not a beautiful dome with a big mirror. It's hundreds of wires stretched across a huge field, like a giant spider web listening to the sky. Every day the machine spits out miles of paper with squiggly lines. Her job is to analyze all of it by hand. It's boring, repetitive work. Most people would hate it, but one day she notices something odd. A small scruff, a strange signal that appears in the same place in the sky every time the telescope passes over it. And it's pulsing. Extremely regular. 1.337 seconds apart. She calls it Little Green Man as a joke, because the first thought is, could this be aliens? Who is that young woman? Let's go back a little. She was born in 1943 in Northern Ireland. Her father was an architect who helped build the Armagh Observatory. From childhood, she was surrounded by science. But school was really tough. At 11 years old, she failed the entrance exam for the best girls' school, and her parents sent her to a private Quaker school instead. She studied physics at university, one of the few women in her class. When she started her PhD at Cambridge, she was one of only a handful of women in the entire astronomy department. She was quiet, determined, and incredibly detail-oriented. Exactly the kind of person you need for a job that requires checking thousands of matters of paper by hand. For weeks, she keeps seeing this signal. She shows it to her supervisor, Anthony Hurish. At first, everyone is skeptical. They think it might be interference from a car, a satellite, or even a reflection from the ground. So, she does something remarkable. She builds a faster recorder to get better data. She stays up night after night. She carefully rules out every possible earthly explanation, and then she finds a second signal in a completely different part of the sky. Then the third, then fourth. These are not aliens. These are natural objects, but completely new to science. In 1968, they finally published the discovery. These objects are named pulsars, rapidly spinning neutron stars. The collapsed cores of dead stars, sending out beams of radiation like cosmic lighthouses. It was one of the most important astronomical discoveries of the 20th century. She had done the hard work, spotting the signal, proving it was real, and finding multiple examples. But when the paper came out, her name was not listed as an author. Only her supervisor and 4 other men. In 1974, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded for the discovery of pulsars. It went to Anthony Hurish and another astronomer. She, the person who actually found them, was not included at all, and she was only 31 years old. A young woman in a field dominated by older men. The decision caused huge controversy in the scientific community. Many astronomers were outraged, but the Nobel Committee never changed their mind. For many years, she rarely spoke about it publicly. She continued her career, becoming an incredibly respected astronomer. She worked on quasars, binary stars, and later became a professor. But the wound was there. The world celebrated pulsars but almost never mentioned the woman who first heard their heartbeat. Eventually, things began to change. In 2018, at the age of 75, she was awarded the Special Breakthrough Prize in Fundamental Physics. The prize came with $3 million, which she immediately donated to help women and minority students in physics. She has since received many other major awards. She became a dame, the female equivalent of a knight. Universities and organizations around the world now openly acknowledge her central role. She handled the injustice with remarkable grace and dignity. Instead of bitterness, she used her platform to fight for young scientists who are often overlooked. The young woman who stayed up night after night analyzing miles of paper. The person who discovered the first pulsars and changed our understanding of the universe was Jocelyn Bell Burnell. Jocelyn Bell Burnell. Thanks to her discovery, we now know that pulsars exist all over the galaxy. They help us test Einstein's theory of relativity. They've even been used as cosmic GPS. One young woman's careful attention to detail opened an entirely new window into the universe. What makes this story powerful is not just the science. It's the quiet determination of a young woman who trusted what she saw when others doubted her. It's the pain of having your greatest achievement credited to someone else. And it's the grace with which she moved forward anyway. She once said she did not mind too much about the Nobel Prize, because science is about the work, not the prizes. But we mind. We mind that it looks so long for her name to be properly recognized. Some discoveries are really loud. Others come as tiny signals on long rolls of paper in the middle of the night. And sometimes the person who hears the signal first has to wait decades for the world to hear her name. But eventually, the universe has a way of correcting itself.